Oh, I'm George Loader. I lived in Berkhamsted for most of my life. Don't make shoes like these anymore. I always liked to keep my hand in, even when I was a master bootmaker. I had 7 lads in the shop working for me. Not bad for a man who started off in the national school, down there in the courthouse. We had to sit still and mind our P's and Q's. The master lived next door, and if we made any noise, his wife would be round to find out why. Now, what are you all doing here? What's where you're putting your feet? That's John Wolstenholme Cobb. Rectory was, and I was on his parish council. An energetic and well-liked man he was to boot. Excuse the pun.
Oh, it's all right, George. Let them be. They've as much right as we do to come in here and walk around. Recently, they've been tidying up, cleaning the graves, cutting back weeds, and putting seats down for people to sit on and relax on the fire.
Recently, say? They've been at it for years, fiddling away with bits of this and bits of that, then leaving the trees and weeds to grow until a man can't find the way back to his own grave without tripping over something. If my urban councils had taken as long to get things done, we'd never have finished building the Victoria schools. I got things moving in this town. Do you remember my arrangements for the coronation of Edward VII? 60 wreaths I had at my funeral. That shows you how much I did for this town.
They're improvements, George, just as we were. I with my church and you with your school board and urban council.
And me, Walter Pitkin, with 20 years on the council. Pitkins have always been pillars of the community since at least 1610. My father was a painter and a plumber, but I worked as a lawyer's clerk. That taught me enough of the law to argue with the rector over opening the cinemas on Sundays. He lost that one.
I didn't say I agreed with all the improvements.
We planned the new secondary school at Greenway. I made sure the evacuees had proper schooling during the war. And that new civic centre was mine. I laid the foundation stone, and I opened it with a grand tour of the building.
Progress, gentlemen. Keeping Berkhamsted alive and prosperous. Visitors today come and look at my church and admire its beauty. They look at the memorials of all those who allowed Berkhamsted to prosper. They look up and down the high street at all the fine buildings, and then they come up here for some rest and reflection in the quiet. Lecturing on Berkhamsted Castle's history to the Mechanics Institute, I don't think I realised how we were part of something that started thousands of years ago, long before the castle, and that will continue into the future.
I don't think it's necessarily an improvement, having all these people disturbing me when I'm just quietly trying to put a shine on a good pair of boots. They don't even wear good leather anymore.
Now, George, don't you agree it's good to see people coming here again? We've been neglected for long enough. We need to see the living coming here and paying attention to us and our history. We won't be forgotten again. They've brought us back into town life. We'd thank them if we could.
Well, just as long as they don't make a mess and don't jump on my grave when I'm trying to get some rest.